Yeah, we can start if you guys are ready.
Okay. I think Victoria is coming in. Ok, bom. Boa tarde, sejam todos bem-vindos a mais um webinar do Education USA, a sua fonte oficial de informações sobre estudos nos Estados Unidos. O meu nome é Fernanda, eu sou orientadora do Education USA aqui na PUC Rio e tenho o prazer de estar com a Renê da Lynn University, que vai falar um pouco da universidade com vocês e vai tirar todas as dúvidas que vocês tiverem. Se algum de vocês tiver dificuldade com o idioma inglês e preferir fazer a sua pergunta em português no chat, fiquem à vontade que eu ajudo vocês nas perguntas, tá? Lynn, have a nice session. Renee, sorry, have a nice session. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Fernanda, and good afternoon to those of you who have joined us this afternoon. My name is EducationUSA. I am the Director for International Admissions here at Lynn University in Boca Raton, Florida. This is an area that is very popular among Brazilian families and students, not only just the state of Florida, but especially the area that's called South Florida. So I'm going to take a few minutes to share with you information in general about studying in the United States, universities, how universities review applications. I'll share examples of how we do things at Lynn, and I'll also share a quick little videos with you. So we'll leave some time for questions at the end of the webinar, so that what you can do is write down your questions and then have them ready for the end of the webinar, or you can also drop them into the chat. Actually, Fernanda, are they able to put questions into the chat?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Okay,
they can
so you can
write
put them in, yeah, and then we can address those at the end. Okay, so without further here, and on my first slide, you see that the name of the webinar, which is Tips on Applying to Lynn University and Universities in Florida. In Florida and in the United States is what we call higher education, universities, is quite different than what it is in other countries, the way that things are organized. Here in the US, there is no Ministry of Education that kind of sets the rules, right, for universities. There are different types of universities. The word college and university is used interchangeably. It doesn't mean that a college is better than a university or that a university is better than college. Pretty much they offer the same bachelor degree, master's degrees. There are different types of universities. As you see here, there are research universities, there are liberal arts colleges, there are community colleges. Community colleges tend to be offering only 2-year programs. Some offer more than 2-year programs, and as well as universities offer 2-year programs, which are associate degrees, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. Yes.
I'm sorry. I think there is a background noise. It's a little bit louder than your voice.
Yes. Okay.
It
How's
makes
this?
a bit.
It's hold on. Let me
Yeah,
see
I
how
think it would be best if you could hold the mic closer to you. Maybe it would help. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, a
Is
little
that,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So so I share this about the different types of universities because when students begin to think about studying overseas, location becomes important. The size of the university becomes important. The type of offerings. Not all universities offer the same type of programs, whether it's at the undergraduate level or at the graduate level. So these are all important things to keep in mind, as well as whether or not if it's located in a city or if it's located in the outskirts of a city. This is all going to determine price, accessibility. It's going to determine many different aspects of what the education is going to mean. So, for example, Where you go to school will determine where you're going to be able to network. So if you're in a city that's very industrial and that has a lot of opportunities, then that will pose more opportunities for you as you go. So that's just a little bit in terms of the types of universities. How do universities in the U.S. Make decisions, right? So there are different approaches. Some universities, like Lynn University,
Renee, the sound goes on and off for some reason. You get a kind of super
is
low
this
and
better?
then,
Yeah, you know
yeah,
what? I think for some reason, is that better?
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. So there are different types of admissions decisions that that can be made, and how universities look at making admission decisions. Okay, so here you see there's holistic admission decision, which is basically what that means is that a university will take into account many different aspects in order to make an admission decision. So it means they're going to look at your grades, they're going to look at your, and grades mean they're going to look at your high school grades. So they're going to look at testing, they're going to look at your extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities means opportunities and things that you are doing outside of the classroom, non-academic related organization involvement, or perhaps there are academic involvement that you have, but that's extra outside of the classroom. It's not mandated by your curriculum. For example, some students are part of debate clubs or Model United Nations, or they do community service. So these are all important things for universities that make decisions on holistic admissions. Then we have threshold admissions. These are universities that publish clearly what they are looking for. So they clearly say if there's a student with less than this testing or less than this type of grade, then they do not encourage those students to apply because that's not the type of student that they're looking. These universities that are using a threshold admission approach most likely will not offer or not require a letter of recommendation as in the holistic admission process. So no letter of recommendation there. And then you also have test optional. Test optional means, and the test refers to SAT or ACT. Today, now during pandemic, most universities here in the US have gone test optional, so it means that you're not required to take an SAT or an ACT. But prior to the pandemic, it was quite uncommon, or it was becoming more common for universities to offer admission to students who were not taking testing. Example, we at Lynn have been test optional for over 10 years for international students. Why? Because through our holistic admission process, when we are looking to make a decision, we are looking at the high school that the student has attended, the type of curriculum. We have students from over 97 different countries. So imagine that is many types of different education. And the bottom line is that regardless, if students have a good education, and there are some students that are going to be excellent students, sometimes that doesn't reflect in the SAT, especially when English is a second language and the student hasn't learned in an American or US educational system. So that is test optional. And then we have test flexible as well. That is something that some universities are doing, but not necessarily very, very popular. I'm going to take you through in this slide. These are the requirements for admission at Lynn. And this presents to you the holistic requirements. So you have, of course, there's an application, and we have what's called a common application. A common application is an application that is available to over 800 universities around the world. And the student can apply by filling out one application, they can apply to many different universities. Even if these universities have different requirements, that one application will have those requirements and the student can just fill out one form. We also have our own application, which is simpler and easier to navigate because you're only looking at the requirements for Lynn University. You have your personal components to the application, and that is a letter of recommendation, your essay. What is the essay? The essay is a writing sample. It is through this writing sample that we get to know the student more. Why? Because we want to know the type of student, the type of person that the student is. What types of things are they passionate about? And that we get from the essay. So it's not how long the essay is, but really the substance that's behind the essay. A lot of times students can express themselves better in writing, and they can really tell us about themselves beyond what we've seen in their grades. So we also look at extracurricular activities. I was sharing earlier, what is the student involved in? Is the student only what we call a bookworm, that is only interested in studying, or does the student doing things outside of the classroom? For us, it's important that outside of the classroom involvement, because we are a university that is 3,300 students. So that's considered small in terms of US standards. And small universities are anything below 5,000 students. Medium-sized universities are between 5 and 15,000, and anything beyond that is considered large. So at a university like Lynn, we are very intentional about who we admit, because we want the student to be part of the student body and to have involvement beyond just the classroom. So that's a little bit in terms of personal components. In terms of the academic components, we're going to look at the last 3 years of high school, and we don't require the SAT or the ACT. Even though we don't require that, that doesn't mean that students will not be considered for merit scholarships, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So students don't have to submit the SAT. The proof of language proficiency is what many people refer to as the TOEFL. So the TOEFL is one of the ways that students can meet that proof of language proficiency. So that means that students have to prove that they can manage the language at the university level. And different universities have different ways in which students can prove that. The TOEFL is very popular. Duolingo is another very popular exam. And every university has a different score. So for us, for example, at Lynn, Duolingo is, the minimum score is 100. Duolingo is very accessible and very inexpensive and very convenient for students. So we're finding that many students prefer Duolingo. You can take it from home and you can have your score available in 3 days. TOEFL is the traditional and most preferred by a lot of students, but the Duolingo is now accepted by over 1,000 universities. So if you're looking to apply to a university in the US, then you consider that too, because it might be worth your while. And then lastly, the SAT. Although we don't require it, if you have taken the SAT and you get a 500 on the writing and reading section, then we would waive the TOEFL. Waive means that we would not require a TOEFL or Duolingo. That would meet a language proficiency requirement. On the slide, you see that at the very bottom here, that students are all considered for merit scholarships at the university. Merit means academic merit. It means your grades and what we consider high school in the US. It means the last 3 years of high school, not the year that you are applying to university, because usually students are applying during their last year of high school, but it's the last 2. Plus, I know in Brazil, then you have your 9th grade as well. So we look for that, we translate your scores, and then based on that, if you are admitted, you would be offered a scholarship ranging from $7,000 to $18,000. $18,000 is the highest, and students maintain that scholarship while they're at Lynn for the 4 years. Now, deadlines, because there is planning that comes into place. Remember my first slide, we talked about location, talked about size. So once you develop your list of universities where you want to attend and where you're going to begin to apply, then it's super important that you have deadlines in mind, because deadlines will be important as you are considered for admission and for scholarships. At Lynn, our early action deadline is November 15th. Early action means that you get a decision early. It doesn't mean that you have to attend the university. All that it means is that you will be afforded the opportunity of a decision, and if you're admitted, you'll know what your scholarship is. There are no application fee for Lynn, but many universities do have application fees, so that's part of your planning as well, so that if you're on a budget, that you can take that into consideration. So some tips for you for studying in Florida, okay? So if you are attending this website, that means that you are interested in Florida. And Florida traditionally has been known as the Sunshine State, because there's lots of sunshine. Weather is wonderful. And for many years, it was just known as a state for tourism. But today, you will see that in Florida, we have over 120 institutions. These are community colleges. These are four-year colleges and universities. And there are 3 different universities here in Florida that are in the top universities in the United States. These are large state universities, some are private. So I encourage you to take a look at what's available, because there is a university for everyone, based on budget, based on size. The key is to do the research and to do it with enough time so that you can allow yourself the opportunity to really find what best suits you. Now, here on this slide, you see some information. There is an organization called Study Florida. And this is a consortium, is an association of different universities. The university is a member of this consortium, and we promote studying in Florida. So this photo that you see there is the state of Florida, our logo, and then you see the map of Florida, and then in there you see where Study Florida universities are located, based in the map. So I share that with you because it's important in terms of distance, in terms of flights. From Rio, Miami has direct flights, the same as, I want to say, Fort Lauderdale, but also Orlando. There's many different places in Florida where there are direct flights, and there's plenty of universities. You see on the slide also the link for Study Florida, because you can go in there and learn all about all the different institutions that are in the consortium, what the requirements are, what the deadlines are, and as well as what is it that makes this university special. At this point, I want to share with you a quick video so that you can see what Lynn looks like, some of our buildings, a little bit of what the environment is at the university. And then I have just 2 more slides and we can go to questions. Sorry about that. Okay, hopefully you like the video and we're able to appreciate some of our campus. The campus is very walkable. It takes about 20 minutes to walk from one side of campus to the other. There we have 6 residence halls on campus, and this is a photo of our College of Business. So the university has 6 different colleges right here, and that offers 48 different majors. And the most popular college is the College of Business and Management. We have majors in entrepreneurship, international business, cybersecurity, data analytics, marketing. So some traditional majors and others that are pretty new to the market, but they're very much sought after employers. On this slide here, you'll see that we are just about 8 kilometers to the beach. I know that that's important for those of you that are joining from Rio. We are on the east coast of Florida. The city is called Boca Raton, and Lynn's campus is on 123 acres. There are no public streets coming through, so it's very easy to adjust. It's very safe. And time again, we have been ranked as the #1 university for the highest percentage of international students. We have students from 97 different countries, 47 different states, and we offer undergraduate degrees as well as master's degrees. Our undergraduate degrees are 4 years long. We have what's called an accelerated program, which is kind of like a scholarship program that students can be part of, and they can finish their degree in 3 years. There are majors like Bachelor of Fine Arts in Computer Animation and a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design that are not available in the 3-year format. But in the College of Business, all of the majors are available. And we are in a fantastic area in Florida. We are in the area that is one of the areas that's fastest growing in the country. This area traditionally, as I was sharing earlier, was known just for hospitality related industries, but now there has been over the last 20 years a boom in finance, in tourism, in sports, filmmaking, fashion. So all of these industries provide a wonderful opportunity for students in many different areas to participate and to be able to have internships, that means hands-on learning or shadowing experiences with our graduates here at the university. Next, I'm going to show you a quick little video. So Brazil has been in our top 5 countries among students here at the university. So we took a video clip of some of our students sharing with you what they enjoy about the university, what they're majoring in. So I'm going to share that with you so that you can hear a little bit and see where they're from and what they're majoring in. So here we go. I think the video is.
Hello, this is Gabriel Hosevar.
Hi, I'm Juliana Carroza.
Hi, my name is Mariah.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Narvaez.
Hello everyone, my name is Rodrigo.
Hi guys, my name is Nicole Goldberg. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Hi, my name is Marcel De Bono and my major is International Business. I graduated from EAC, Escola Americana de Campinas. And I love it here at Lynn. I just feel so at home, especially with the class size being really small. I can have a great connection with the professors, and also that I get to do what I love the most, which is play volleyball.
My major is International Business, and it's been an amazing experience here. We have a good relationship with the professors.
Well, my first semester here at Lynn was really challenging, but it was really great with my experiences. I joined a sorority, which was the greatest thing that happened to me here. I got to build my own family with my sisters, and I got a position as a treasurer, which was really impactful for me because it was my first semester as a freshman, and I'm really excited what's coming next.
As of right now, I'm working in a company called Arbitral Finance, and what I most like about my major in Lynn is that it has taught me a all the things that I needed to know to choose the path that I wanted, which is nothing with the major that I studied.
I also got to work with the Democratic Party as well in a political campaign for Highland Beach, which is very interesting, and I've learned a lot and had a lot of things to add in my resume.
Hello everyone, my name is Rodrigo. I'm from Brazil and I graduated in Lynn in 2017. I did a major in marketing and a minor in sports management. Currently I'm working in Finland in a football club called Vasa Palloseura, which is in the first tier of Finnish football. I work here as assistant coach, and definitely my time at Lynn helped me a lot to be where I am right now and also to work on my day-to-day here.
I'm graduating in 3 years instead of 4, and I feel right at home since Lynn is such a diverse campus. I meet people from all over the country, all over the world, and I hope to see you around. Bye!
So you saw some of our sports, some of our athletes. Athletics is very much part of the university, and at many universities in Florida, athletics is very important. That is also a way that many students are able to attend university. So there are coaches that do their own recruiting. Athletics at university level is offered. There's different divisions. And just to put it simply, Division 1 and 2 are pretty competitive. They can offer scholarships based on the ability for the sport. At Lynn, we're proud to say we are the Fighting Knights. We offer 19 different sports and 25 national, you heard it right, national championships. So with that, I want to close and open it up for questions. You can send your questions via the chat, or I'm going to leave Fernanda to let us know if they are able to, if you're able to unmute your mics if you want to ask a question.
Please do, guys. You can unmute yourselves and then you can ask your questions. There are questions on the chat box as well.
I see that. So we can start with that. So let's see. I have a question for Renee. Your opinion, what is the most relevant information that a student should consider when writing and submitting the personal statement? And what should a teacher highlight in writing the letter of recommendation? Very good question. So with the personal statement, I always say, read the instructions, because depending on what the university is asking in the personal statement, then that's what you have to write your statement about, right? The most important thing that is a general tip for those students that are writing a personal statement is to, of course, make sure that there are no grammatical errors, that you proofread it, but take your time, right? Because it's not how long you write, but it's what you write about. For the most part, if you can answer the question that is being asked for your personal statement, or there might be different topics, usually the personal statement, the purpose is to get to know you, right? To get to know you better. So I hope that that is helpful, and when you write your personal statement, think about what it's asking and how it relates to you. Last question here, and from that area is, what should the teacher highlight in writing the letter of recommendation? Similar, right? I love the letters of recommendation. At Lynn, we require one letter of recommendation. So in the letter of recommendation, we are also able to appreciate things that maybe the student did not include in the application, right? So think about this, guys. The application usually is your application. In the application, we have your date of birth, your name, that kind of information. We call that biographical information. Then there's an opportunity for you to write like what activities you're part of. Sometimes students don't fill that out completely, right? So then we have a letter of recommendation from a teacher who writes about what a wonderful job the student has done, whether it's in class or outside of the class, by being involved in something So the letter of recommendation helps to expand the knowledge of the reader about something that we may not know about the student. And that is why it's so important for the students to ask for that letter of recommendation far in advance of when it's due, to be respectful of the teacher who's going to write that letter of recommendation, and ask someone that knows you well, not necessarily somebody. Some students think, oh, I'm going to ask my chemistry teacher because I do really well in chemistry. But most importantly, it's important to ask somebody a teacher that knows you well, so that they can talk about you as a person. And I know that in some schools, there's not an opportunity for a teacher to get to know you well, right? Because there's too many students or whatnot. But if you do have some type of relationship with somebody that knows you past what you're scoring in that class, then ask that teacher, and then that teacher will be able to write some interesting things about you. Next question. Does your institution have any pathway programs for community colleges in the region? Very good question. Lynn does not. We do have an agreement with Broward College, okay, where it's you could call it a pathway, but it's really an articulation agreement. So if students go to Broward College, which is a public institution here in Florida, and they finish 2 years, then they get credit for those 2 years at Lynn towards one of the degrees at the university. The other question, is it possible for students to take dual degrees? So that depends per institution. At Lynn, we don't do dual degrees. We offer a major and a minor. And the reason for that, let me see if I can explain it as simple as possible. So in order for students to graduate from an institution, they take a number of credits, right? So for example, at Lynn, most of the degrees are 120 credits. The students do in 4 years. So you're gonna do a double major and you're in the same college. For example, if you wanna do a major in marketing, and some students say, I want to do a double major in international business. A lot of your core classes are going to be the same. So you don't need to take them again. You can do a minor, right? So it's called a minor because you're not taking extra credits, but it's a minor because you're in the same college and you are able to get a minor. So you can do a double major in a different college if you want, but it would just mean you would have to take extra classes, which you've already taken as part of the core curriculum. So hopefully that's helpful. At some other institutions, depending on how they're structured, it is possible to do a double major. And that is something that you can ask during the application or the admission process, so that they can give you information about length, cost, and how that would be structured based on your interest. Next question. Is it possible for students to graduate in 3 years? Yes, it is. In most of the majors, with the exception of the Bachelor of Fine Arts, the Conservatory of Music, and the education majors. All the other majors, you're able to graduate in 3 years if you're invited into the program. The next question from Luan. My connection is not the best. Oh, did you mention, sorry about that. Did you mention scholarships for international students? So yes. So nowadays, most institutions are offering scholarships for international students. At Lynn, we offer what we call merit scholarships, and these are scholarships based on your grades. Every student that is admitted to the university will get a scholarship. Then there are also what's called talent scholarships. Talent scholarships are scholarships offered for athletics, for example, or for example, our drama department, which requires an audition and a separate application. They also offer a talent scholarship. This is for students who want to be actors in the drama program. So that is another opportunity, and those can be added to the merit scholarships. So that's at Lynn. Other universities, you can look into what's called need-based scholarships. That is, if you show that you actually have a financial need, some institutions might be able to provide enough funds for you to attend that institution. Okay, so there's merit, there's need-based, and then there's talent scholarship. Anyway, I think that's the last question that we have in the chat. If anyone has questions that they want to ask, those questions are welcome. We'll wait a few minutes, and if not, then I think we will conclude our webinar.
Do you, the scholarships you mentioned, they are even for the 3-year degrees as well?
Yes, absolutely. So
Good.
You can be, so it's really very advantageous. You can say you get $18,000 scholarship per year, and so you will be saving almost $100,000 before you graduate, because you get $18,000 every year, and then you graduate a year early, and you save your tuition and you save your room and board. So yes, that's students who are receiving merit scholarships are eligible for the career.
Great, thank you. That was very helpful for us, I guess. So does anyone have any more questions? Would you like to take the chance to ask anything else? Please feel free. Okay, I guess that's it.
All right, well, before we sign off, I want to invite everyone. I know everyone has what we call Zoom fatigue, but there is also now the opportunity for all of you from a distance to explore so many opportunities here in the US. We offer virtual programs, which are offered throughout the year. You can go on the Lynn.edu website. I'm going to put that into the chat so that you can
Please
go
do.
there. And you will see that there are virtual programs being offered. So the College of Business will offer a program, and usually these programs are in the evening, so that you can learn more about that particular, the majors there, its faculty, current students. There are also what we call virtual tours. So if you want to get a tour of the university and do it virtually, there in the lynn.edu, you can search for that, for the virtual tour, and you can sign up, and you can be sitting home very comfortably meeting students at Lynn and actually getting a virtual tour. So thank you so much for joining us and for your attention today. Also, my information is with Fernanda. If you're interested, you can write to me directly.
Thank you very much. It was a very insightful session, Renee. Thank you. And on the subject of the virtual tours, I highly recommend to each of my advisees to do virtual tours because they are an amazing opportunity, really. So please do, guys. And muito obrigada, pessoal, pela presença de vocês, pelas perguntas, excelentes perguntas. E a nossa sessão será gravada. Nós vamos colocar no nosso canal do YouTube e esperamos vocês nas nossas próximas sessions. Por favor, fiquem de olho no nosso calendário, que fica no site, nas nossas redes sociais. Sigam a gente nas redes sociais. Tem muitos eventos muito bacanas acontecendo. Muito obrigada. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Fernanda.